Try that again. Good morning. I'm Cam Balzer. I'm the founder and CEO of Even Better Apps, and I'm here today to give you a walkthrough of our Send to Many app that is your one-stop shop for any kind of multi-recipient orders in Shopify. For about the last 2 years, we've had order upload tools, and for the last year, or since Q3 last year, we've had a checkout experience for the storefront so that shoppers can add multiple recipients to a single checkout and send gifts to multiple people with one order. And so we've been continuing to develop the app. Over the holidays, we supported about $10 million of gross merchandise value purchased in gift orders and over 150,000 orders. We've continued to refine the app this year, and we're just rolling out our new checkout experience in the next week or so. So I want to give you all a preview of that and let you know what we've got coming. I'm going to start the walkthrough today with some of the basics of Send to Many, and I'll take you through a quick order upload in the app just so that you kind of have a sense of what the fundamental workflow looks like, and then we'll go into the new features. And if at any point along the way you have questions, just feel free to chime in the chat. And I've got Oiku behind the scenes helping me out here. She'll make sure that I see any questions that come through. All right, so let me start with let me start by getting the right window. All right. Here we go. So we're in Shopify admin, and we want to upload a set of bulk order or a spreadsheet with orders into Shopify. The common scenarios here are a corporate gifting order where a client has sent you a spreadsheet of their own, or you've sent them a template and they've sent back their addresses and product selections. Or we also support use cases such as importing orders from a third-party platform, like Etsy, for instance, or distributing gifts to influencers for a marketing campaign. You might have a whole list of influencers your agency's teed up for you with addresses and products that they want to receive, and you just need to get those orders into Shopify so they can flow through fulfillment. So whatever use case you're starting with, you'll typically have a spreadsheet. And that spreadsheet just needs one row per recipient and whatever other information you want to load into your Shopify orders. You don't need to worry about reformatting the spreadsheet, changing the heading names, putting them in a specific order. We'll handle that all for you when you upload to Shopify. And common issues like missing the leading zeros in zip codes and some of those kinds of things, you don't need to worry about those either. We'll catch those when we do address validation. For products, if everybody in the order is receiving the same product, you can include that in a product column here, although that's not necessary. You can also add it in the app. In this scenario, we're showing a more complicated order where different people are receiving different items and different numbers of items. So some people getting a cocoa set, some people getting wine, some people getting a t-shirt. And for these types of orders, you can have as many product and quantity columns as you need to satisfy all of the conditions across all your orders. You can also upload a card message, and if your fulfillment team can support a shipping date field, we'll help you get that into the right place in the order when you do your upload. So if you've got a CSV or an Excel file, you can upload that into Send to Many. In this case, I'm going to paste this Google Sheet link in. This is the first time we've seen this format, so we will map as many fields as we can automatically. And then this prod 2 field, we couldn't tell automatically what that was, but we can map it to a product column. The quantity field already mapped. For the card message, you have a number of options. A lot of people put it in a notes field. You can also put it in additional details or even in an order meta field. I'll just put this one in the notes field. And then let's put the shipping date. I think I've got a meta field here that we can use for that. We can use this future ship date. So we've already got this meta field set up on our store, and we can map that value to that. So next time we use this template, we'll remember this format, so you won't need to remap it again. And then to move ahead on this send, we'll just give it an internal tracking name. We'll pick a customer from our store. And if you're on Shopify B2B, if you're using Shopify B2B now that it's available for all stores, you can use that on our advanced plans. In this case, I'll just make this a personal order. We support a broad number of options in how the orders are uploaded and generated. I won't go into all those right now. We can circle back on those if you've got more questions later, but you can add discounts to all the imported orders. You can use free or flat shipping. In this case, we'll use the calculated shipping rates on the site. And you can generate these orders with their full dollar amounts and subtotals and totals, or you can also generate them as $0 value orders, which is handy for things like influencer marketing mailings. But I've got all the information I need here to proceed to the next step. So in this step, we'll map all the products into the order. And you can see that the products that had SKUs or exact names matched exactly. This TBD order or a product has a number of variants. And we'll pull up those variants and show them to you here so you can select between them. You can also upload different variant files, either using the exact SKU for the variant, or you can use a product and variant column and just add the variant name on the upload. If you need to, during upload, you can also customize these products. If you need to add a line item property to certain products or even a logo file, you can do those directly in the edit screen here. And if you didn't upload products in your spreadsheet, you'll just see this blank add an additional product option, and you can search and pull in any product from your store to send to all the recipients in your order. Okay, our next step is to review addresses. We validate addresses with two data sources, including Google's address validation API, and we'll make suggestions if we're not 100% confident. Minor changes that we make behind the scenes with full confidence, we'll just go ahead and make those for you. In this case, we couldn't find an address. We have a couple options for this here. We could just exclude it from our import, or we'll actually use Google's autocomplete here to pull in the accurate address. So that one's fixed for us, and we can go on to the next step. In this step, we'll pull in all of the available shipping rates that are configured in your storefront, and we'll calculate them for each of the recipients based on their address and the unique products in their order. And so we've got express rates and economy rates that apply to some of the orders, and I'll apply the express rate to the rest of them here. So you can do that in all at once, or you can come in and set a specific rate for an individual order if that one needs custom shipping. Okay, on the last step here, we'll show you all of the aggregate line items for your order, all of the tax details across all the different recipients. And again, those are calculated based on the recipient and the individual items in their order. You can review all those recipients down here, see all the products they're getting, confirm any order notes or anything that you uploaded, and you can even preview those orders to see exactly what they're going to look like in Shopify. You can add tags to all these orders if you need to, and everything looks like it's ready to go. So we're going to create an invoice for this order. We use Shopify draft orders for invoicing. If we click that again, we'll take you to the invoice that we created. In this invoice, you'll see these custom line items that contain all of the product information. And in this case, we're customizing these products so that they show up properly in the invoice email for the recipient. We'll aggregate the tax and shipping information. You've got all your purchasers' billing information here, and you can just go ahead and click Send Invoice to send that to the customer. When they pay, it would have the same effect as me marking this paid. And Send to Many will detect that that invoice that's associated with this send has been paid and will start generating those orders. It just takes about a second or so per order to generate those into your store. And if we go and look at our orders page, we'll see that this parent order that we just paid has come through with all the line items. This is the order that holds the transaction and the revenue for this send. And then we can just page through to some of the other orders that are being generated. And each of these child orders is generated as an individual order in your store with the specific products and other information that's associated with the order, and any tax details, again, based on that specific recipient and the tax that was collected or calculated for them. Then back in the Send to Many app, if we go to the Manage Sends page, we can see that order that we just added. It's still generating. This is a dev store, so it takes a little bit longer to generate the orders, but I can show you what a finalized order looks like here. This one came in through the storefront, and you'll see all of the summary information about how we handled the order, all the products in the order, all of the recipients, and the payment status, tracking IDs, and the delivery status for the order will all update. You can export this if you want to send it to your customer, and they'll be able to then get all the tracking details for their orders. Okay, so that's end to end on the order upload process in Send to Many, and a couple key concepts there. We have this concept of a send, which is kind of the parent order, all of the information about the billing customer, as well as all of the individual recipient order information, and we let you track that information at this send level in Send to Many. Then we have the aggregate orders that in this case we created as a draft order and sent as an invoice, and we have all the recipient orders that are generated individually sent into your Shopify store so that they can flow through your fulfillment workflow. All right, so now let's move to the storefront. On the storefront, for gifting sites, you'll often see people place multiple sequential orders when they want to send multiple items from your store to different addresses. There's no native functionality in Shopify to handle that use case where somebody wants to send a T-shirt or send cookies to a number of recipients and do it all at once. And so the best practices for this are to have a nice prominent gifting page on your site where you explain that you do in fact allow multi-address orders. You might want to include a bulk order or gifting order inquiry form. Our inquiry form is also part of the app, and recipients can shoppers can give you information about what they'd like to do with their gifting order, and they can upload an address file as well, and those inquiries will flow straight into Send to Many, where your store team can then walk through that workflow that I just walked through to add those orders to your site. So that's one option. Another option that we give you on the storefront, just to streamline the process of accepting an inquiry and turning it into a bulk order in Shopify. But the big win with Send to Many is the ability for people to add multiple items to their cart. In this case, I've already done some shopping, and I go to my cart page. I see the products that I've got in my cart. I also see some recommended product add-ons. I'll just hide those for the moment. But then we'll see this recipient section where your shoppers can now send the products that they've got in their cart to multiple people all in one transaction on Shopify. And so let me walk you through a little bit of the functionality here. The first thing that people are going to want to do is pick their recipient. If they're already logged into your storefront and they have addresses saved on their store account, they can use those addresses and autofill them here. You can customize these fields and decide which fields you want to make available for your shoppers to provide for each of their recipients. You can also choose to make fields required or optional and change the names, the labels, all of that kind of thing. Then we'll want to get products added. And so I've got a customizable, well, let me just start with the simple use case of just a regular product that has a couple of variants. We'll choose to send the medium to this recipient. And as soon as we have an address for a recipient and one or more products selected for that recipient, we'll provide shipping options. In this case, we're choosing to give the recipients a shipping date option. We've got rules set up here in our app that let us pick which shipping dates are going to be available. So on our store, we ship from Monday to Thursday, and we've got a blackout date for Memorial Day. That's a shipping rule that you can configure in Send to Many. We also support apps like Zapiet and Bird that let you set more complicated shipping rules and use local delivery options as well. So Send to Many can support local delivery as well as shipping if you ship your products locally or deliver them locally. So we'll pick a shipping date for this recipient, and our shipping dates have already calculated here for this recipient, so we can choose the rate that we want. We can also add a gift message. This is configurable by the merchant, so you can choose whether or not to show this. This is a gift box, and you can choose how you want your gift message field to work. And you can show a gift counter, etc. Okay, so we've got our first recipient added to the order, but now we might want to add additional recipients. We have a couple ways that you can do that as a shopper. You can upload a spreadsheet with up to 100 recipients. This is a variable that you can set in the storefront as well. Customers can then download the template, and the template will include the same fields that you've configured here to show to each of your recipients. And when they upload that, we'll process all those orders, do address validation on those orders, and show them their list of recipients. They can then come back in and customize the products that they want, either one at a time for each of the recipients that they've uploaded, or all at once. And I'll show you how that works in a moment. They can also duplicate existing recipients and add the same product and copyable fields down to the next recipient. So let's update the address for this recipient, and we can update the gift message for that recipient. And we can continue along the same, doing that same process over and over here. As we go, we'll collapse your recipient rows. Any recipients that don't have complete information will show as incomplete, so that the shopper knows to come back and provide additional information for that recipient. Let's go back to product selection and highlight a couple more things there. So we show these recommended add-ons. These are configured in a collection, and you can have as many products as you want here. This section will scroll if you have more than the number of products that'll show in this product area. Let's add a personalizable gift card to this message. And this product can also accept a logo. So let's add a logo file. I've got our Even Better Apps logo here. So I'll show you in the app in a moment how you configure these, but you can add customizable settings to your products through Send to Many. Those products can then be either personalized across all of the recipients in the order, as we're doing with this hat, or they can be personalized individually for each recipient. So we've added that personalized gift card. Let's go back in and add the gift card to our first recipient. And this gift card field has a personalized message that we can add to the inside of the gift card, in addition, in this case, to the gift message. So if you wanted to put an inspirational quote in there, you can do that. And then if we add that product to additional recipients, let's add the hat and the personalized gift. The hat will include the logo that we set at the top of the page, and the gift card will contain the personalized message, and that can be updated for each recipient individually. Or if you want, you can duplicate that, and that duplication would carry down to the next recipient. All right, so we've got a bunch of stuff configured for each of these orders. Let's wrap up this John Doe recipient with a shipping date. Again, we can customize the shipping date for each order and the shipping rate. Let's remove this recipient. And then one more thing to highlight here is that we have a couple of ways to support discounts in the new checkout with Send to Many. One of those is a volume discount that applies across the value of all of the recipients in the order. And that can be set up either as a percentage discount or a fixed dollar amount discount. And the discount can be based either on the number of recipients. In this case, it'll be applied when we have 5 recipients, or it can be applied on the total order value across all of the recipients in the order. And you can also offer multiple tiers to those discounts. So if you wanted to offer the first discount at $100 or $500, and then the second discount at $1,000 with a higher discount tier, you can set up multiple tiers like that, and those will get automatically applied as people build out their checkouts in Send to Many. The other discount option is a discount code. I think I've got one saved here that I can apply. And the discount codes will get applied to each individual recipient. You can see that we've recalculated each of these orders and added that discount to each of the products where it applied. It looks like that discount may not have applied to any of our orders actually, but the rules that are set up with this Shopify discount code will apply for each of the recipients based on their products and any other conditions that are set up for that specific order. A couple more things to highlight about options for merchants here. You can add an order note. The order volume, we've got a question about order volume and whether it applies to the Pro plan or above. The volume discounts are actually available, I believe, on all of our accounts or all of our plans. So So any of the monthly paid plans would have access to that volume discount rule. All right. You can also add order notes to the field. You have actually another option with shipping dates, which is instead of offering it on a per recipient basis, you can offer the shipping date has a single date that applies across all the recipients. And if you chose that option, then that shipping date would show here where this order note field is also showing. And then this order notes is just showing you that you can add basically a field that would get applied to the parent order and not reflected on all the child orders, but it's there as a note if your team needs to know information about that order. Another thing to highlight is this text block here. A lot of people have disclaimers or information about shipping that they want to make highly visible on their cart page. And so with Sent Many, we give you the option of adding your own text blocks here. It can be above or below this button. And all of the text that's customer facing on this page is also editable. So you can come in and in the app find any of these text fields and customize the copy to change the default values that we've got in here. And you can also, if you have offer your site in multiple languages, we support full internationalization and translation of these pages, and it'll be tied to the languages that you've got set up on your store. All right, so the last step here, I think I've got all my recipients ready to go. The last step here is then to check out. And for checkout, Sent Many takes the shopper to through Shopify's checkout. We'll show them the rolled up order totals for each of the products. So we've got 2 recipients receiving each of these. We'll show you the dollar amounts for those. And we also add aggregate line items for the tax and the shipping. And in this case, the customer that I was using, I'm checked in with a B2B account, and that customer has payment terms available, and I'm able to accept those payment terms rather than paying today. For regular B2B or B2C customers or customers who don't have any specific settings on their account, they would just see their normal payment options here in Shopify checkout, and they'd be able to check out. And no matter how the customer checks out on this page, behind the scenes, Sent Many handles these orders exactly the same as the uploaded orders that I showed earlier. We'll create a parent order that has the similar information that you see here with these rolled up aggregate line items, and then we'll generate a child order or a recipient order for each of the individual recipients that were created in our checkout. And in the Sent Many app, those orders will look like this. So here's the order that we uploaded earlier, that one completed. You'll see that was a manually uploaded order. And we've got some storefront orders that were entered the same way that we just entered the order through checkout. And those appear in this summary view as well, where we give you, you can see that it came from checkout, what all the settings were that were applied to this order, the aggregate totals, and all of the individual recipients in that order. So this is the admin view of those checkout orders. Let me also show you a new feature that we've got available for account pages in Sent Many. We've added basically a Sent Many page that you can add into your into your account section of your theme. You can call this whatever you want. We're just calling it multi-recipient orders for the time being. This page will show you all of your sends, all of these like rolled up aggregate orders. shoppers can then see all the details of this aggregate order in one place. They're rolled up line items from the order and each of the individual recipient orders from that send. And we're going to be supplementing these pages with additional functionality as we get into the summer here. We'll be giving you more details about the status of all your child orders so that you can see those all in one place as a shopper. You can currently see that by clicking through to the regular order detail history page, where they can see the fulfillment status. And we've also added this banner so that the customer can see that this child order was associated with a multi-recipient order. And again, you can customize this copy, and that link takes you back to the parent view. So we've got a bunch more functionality coming to the account pages in Shopify to help you just make this whole bulk gifts order process clearer to your customers in their account pages on your store. If they come in and see all of these orders, they'll see all the child orders that were generated, and then they'll see a parent order. So they get all the same order history data here, but we're just providing you a way to give it in a more rolled up fashion through this multi-recipient view of their order history. All right, let me know if there's any other questions about that whole checkout experience, but I'll just take a couple minutes to show you what the configuration options look like for the new multi-recipient cart. For any send-to-many users that already have a cart set up, that existing cart will continue to work when we roll out this new multi-recipient cart. The new cart actually has several new settings, and it has its own app block that you can add separately to your storefront, and then you can choose when to cut it over by adding it to specific pages and making those pages public and accessible in your links on your storefront. So the new version of the checkout on higher level plans, on our enterprise plan specifically, will give you the option to have multiple configurations for your checkout settings so that you could have multiple different checkout pages that use our multi-recipient cart. One application for that would be to have set up private pages for individual repeat corporate customers. You might have custom products set up for a repeat corporate customer. You could add those to a collection, set up a collection page with our checkout features added to that, and then have a custom set of configurations that work only for those private customer pages on your storefront. But that's one option that you'll have going forward on our enterprise plans. For the rest of the settings, we give you a bunch of different groups of settings to customize how this checkout experience works for your shoppers. You can control how the orders are generated, tags that get added automatically behind the scenes to all of the child orders and the parent orders. The recipient fields are fully customizable here. We've got some fields that we provide by default, and you can choose to change the label names, the placeholders. You can make them required or not. And this can fill down option means that if somebody duplicates a recipient that has a field like this, then we'll copy that down with them to the next recipient. Any of these default fields you can turn on or off, and you can add a number of different types of fields as well if there's additional types of information that you need to collect for each recipient in your order. For instance, if you sell birthday related items, you could choose to have an anniversary or birth date field that you add to each of the recipient rows. This section controls that gift message section of the recipient cards. You can choose whether or not to show this Is it a gift option? And just always have the gift message field showing. For instance, you can tell us where to store that gift message field, and if you've got a maximum length on that, you can add that information here too. Under shipping and delivery, this is where you configure those date options that I was talking about, the rules for which specific dates are blacked out and which dates are showing from a shopping point of view or a delivery point of view. You can choose the earliest date that somebody can choose for shipping date and the furthest out date you want. And you can also customize the format of the date as it appears to customers on your storefront, as well as to how it's stored in the data file or in the order in the field that you want associated with it. Here's where you set the order notes field, those fields, those that are applied at the order level. The discounts are controlled here. You can choose whether to accept a discount, display that discount field associated with your orders here. You can also choose to have that discount only apply to the entire order instead of per recipient. In that case, the discount field will show up on the final checkout page in Shopify and not on our send to many cart page. And then the volume discounts are set here, set by order value or by the aggregate recipient totals and what those tiers look like. And then let me just show the product customization fields. So there's a couple things to mention here. If you're already handling product customization directly on your product pages, typically what happens with a third-party app or custom functionality that you've built yourself is that those customizations will get saved as line item properties on the products. And then when those are added to the cart, they'll show up in the send to many checkout. And as those customized products are added to recipients, we'll pull in those customized fields that are set on your product page and we'll add them to the products, and they'll get added to each of the individual recipients that are included in that order. So that product customization would carry forward from the settings on your product page and flow straight through to each of the recipient orders. The customization that I was showing is set up in send to many itself. And basically you can set up the types of customization that you want, whether it's per recipient or across all recipients, and whether that customization is a text input, a date input, or a file upload. And then we've got a number of settings that are available for how that customization works. And we save these settings as a meta object on the product. So if we were to go look at the product page for this personalize your gift product, you'd see a meta object that we've set up and defined here in send to many, and that can be customized in our send to many cart page. This is a little complicated, but should be pretty robust for most customization scenarios in checkout. And then finally, let me show you how you can manage the text and translations. So we've got a text and translations setting. If you've got multiple languages that your storefront is offered in, you can add those languages to this list. And then in your multi-recipient checkout, you can both edit the default text for the English language view, as well as updating the text for any of the other languages that you've got set up. And then if you have multiple settings instances or configurations in your checkout, then you can actually change the text that appears on each of those different settings instances. So super powerful for being able to customize multiple different types of checkout experience on your storefront for different use cases. All right. So I think we've covered everything. We touched on what you can do in Send-to-Many itself to upload bulk orders from a spreadsheet, taking the process all the way from a raw spreadsheet without any reformatting of that document all the way through to validated addresses, selected products, shipping rates assigned to each order, creating an invoice, collecting payment, and having those orders generated into your storefront or into your orders page. And then we also walked through our new checkout features that will allow people to add 1, 2, all the way up to 100 different recipients to their own order and check out on their own, all without needing support from your store team. What we saw during Q4 is that by having this full range of options on your site, you really capture the full range of gifting, all the way from passive people who, while they were shopping, hadn't even thought about giving to multiple recipients. When they see that option in their checkout page, they can, just seamlessly add multiple recipients all at once, all during checkout with no premeditation, and just take care of all their gifting in one shot. You can also highlight these gifting opportunities more prominently across your site from a gifting page that might include an inquiry form and might explain to people that they can place their own small corporate orders, for instance, even customized with logos, and handle those checkouts all themselves right from the storefront. And we also showed how that upload works. And it's a good idea to make it clear to your customers on your storefront that you're very happy to accept any size of corporate order, and on your back end, in your admin, you know that it's really easy for you to handle any of those scenarios and provide a very high degree of customization and service to corporate gifters of any size. So I'll pause there just in case there's any additional questions, and hopefully that was a good workflow and a good overview for everybody. Feel free to reach me at cam@evenbetter.com, and I can provide any follow-up information or go into additional details on any of that. And I think that covers it for today. Looks like we don't have any additional questions, so I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for your time, and